Hey guys, Matt here, and today we're going to be talking about a game that has actually brought a lot of hype and hope to me, not only for games that are coming out in the future, but also for the MMO genre as a whole. And that game is Ashes of Creation. Now, for those of you who don't know what Ashes of Creation is an MMORPG that currently isn't out yet, but it plans to be a dynamic MMORPG. On top of that, interesting little tidbit, Ashes of Creation is also the first MMORPG that I'm aware of that is going to be made in Unreal Engine 5. And it definitely shows. I mean, look at how amazing the environments look. Like, it's just absolutely wild how good this MMO looks. But I don't want this video to be me just gushing over how gorgeous this game looks. Let's circle back around to the dynamic aspect of this game and one of the systems they've implemented to make this possible, that being the node system. So basically with the node system, as a player, when you drop into the world for the first time, it'll be as though the world is a blank canvas. I believe the developers stated at some point that there would be 118 nodes at the start of the game, which are places where villages, towns, cities can all be made and grow and become these massive civilizations. But these civilizations will only grow depending on if the player gathers resources and kills mobs in certain areas. There are also stages to these nodes development that I will have listed on screen here. As you can see, stage 1, expedition / crossroads, stage 2, encampment / camp, 3, village or town, 5, city, and 6, metropolis. And as they state right below the list of stages, basically each stage makes the node grow in size and will increase the amount and quality of NPCs, quests, resources, mobs, benefits, and more. Ooh. So basically think of a node as a Tamagotchi. If you don't feed it, if you don't treat it right, that shit's gonna die. The node system is something I am very excited for. It seems like a system that will provide a lot of player interactivity with the world around them and will actually make it feel like we're a part of building this world. So I am incredibly excited for that, as long as it's implemented properly. All right, now that we've talked about the node system, let's go into player-to-player interaction, something that I am very excited for. Because what's an MMO without interaction with the community? Ashes of Creation design philosophy is, as they state, an emphasis on player interaction, which is definitely one of the most important aspects of an MMORPG by far. If you don't have a community and you don't have a community that interacts, you don't have a good MMO. In this game, they got the standard player. You know, you can either play together as allies or enemies. Now, one of the things that is really nice is the progression isn't supposed to be like how WoW's is right now, or like any of the other MMOs that I have played in the past few years for like a couple hours and then dropped. You know, the ones where it's like, yeah, we're an MMORPG. You can totally play with your friends and grind out this game, and then it turns out that like it's really easy to play it solo. So you and your friends are just playing by yourselves a lot of the time. You know the ones. A lot of the player-to-player interaction, well, you need other players. Stuff like the economy in the game, or the open world PvP system, or the PvP systems like castle sieges and caravans. And going back to node progression, you need other players in order for a node to truly thrive and survive. Thanks to this player-to-player interaction system that they got going on, where it seems like it is crucial that you have a group of guys that you can play with. Maybe finally I won't be playing an MMO alone anymore. But hey, since we're on the topic of player to player, let's talk about the PvP. Now, for PvP, there's not a whole lot I know about it. Now, the node system is one of the bigger things I'm excited to see from AOC. However, there is one other thing that I noticed during this game's development that has me genuinely hopeful. Okay, so I like a lot of games, and I've played a lot developed by Activision Blizzard, Bungie, and 343 Industries. You know, the studios that always go, guys, we hear you, and then proceed to not listen to their community or fix one or two super small things that maybe a few people complained about one time ever, pissing off the majority who want bigger changes and more serious issues solved. Well, based on what I've seen in the developer updates, they're actually listening. Hell, they are begging you to give them feedback, constantly asking, telling people to join the forums and to voice their opinions or concerns. It's unheard of. It's incredible. Based on what I could gather and read about AOC, at its core, AOC is a PvP game. Groups of players will be building up cities and trying to defend that city from other groups of players or conquering the other cities. AOC offers the possibility of large-scale world PvP without the grief or headaches of current PvP games. Obviously, whether or not they pull it off depends on how much they have learned from the problems with other PvP games. Alright, let's talk about my favorite part, the PvE. Alright, so Ashes of Creation has the standard PvE, you know. You fight enemies that are non-player based, either by yourself or with others, and it consumes the majority of the content in the game. Now let's get into those itty-bitty details. Quests cover a large variety of the content. Some will simply be quick and easy tasks, and others will be story-rich arcs that shape the narrative of the world or just a region. And then others will be pretty random, like raid bosses appearing in a region, or a natural disaster occurring if the quest isn't finished. And of course, there will also be quests that lock off certain content or drop legendary equipment. You know, it's the day-to-day tasks you can do to level up your character. You know quests, if you've played MMOs, that has some form of leveling up. You know that quests are the day-to-day adventures that you take on in order to level up, get new gear, and in this game's case, advanced nodes. Now, this game's PvE is also nothing super special, especially when you compare it to the game's sieges and raids. But it's something that I definitely wanted to go over since it's gonna be something that consumes most of my time as a player. One thing I'm really hoping for though out of the PvE is that the story is something I haven't seen before. Something that is actually unique and cool and keeps me engaged for years to come. So after hearing a few things about the game, hearing me talk about it, you're probably asking yourself, why the fuck does he care so much about this game? Let's get into that. Well, besides the gorgeous graphics, the unique node system that I don't think I've experienced in an MMO, and the fact that the combat looks cool as shit, my main reason for caring so much about this MMO is just how much the team is taking into consideration the player feedback, the community feedback, any feedback. And let me tell you something, as someone who played COD for a very long time consistently, this is something that I have never heard of. A company actually listening to feedback? What? Oh, also the devs have actually played MMOs before, so it already has one leg up on New World. So let's go. Alright, so that was the video. That was me talking about a game that I'm incredibly hyped for. But before I go, I just gotta say real quick, you guys know this channel if you've been to it before. You know I'm a guy that just talks about stuff. So if you want to learn more about Ashes of Creation, go onto their forums, go onto their YouTube channel, look at someone who has a deep dive into the game. Really, just like genuinely try and learn this game because it's gonna be something incredible. I have a really good feeling about it. Also, big shout out to Asmongold because he's the whole reason why I found out about Ashes of Creation. So thank God for this man's streams. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, like. If you disliked it, dislike. And I noticed that about 90% of y'all are not subscribed. So if you could do that for me, that would be greatly appreciated. And let me know in the comments, have you even heard of Ashes of Creation before this video? And if so, are you excited for it? Does it bring you hope for the MMO genre? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!